Hi, St. John Fishers. It's Father John here with your final Friday video of the term. I'm recording this on Tuesday evening. Tuesday was the feast of St. Joseph, the husband of the Virgin Mary and the stepfather of Jesus. And it occurred to me earlier that really St. Joseph's a great one for us to pray to. Anytime we're going through any doubts or worries or wondering whether there's anything about all this Christianity business. He's a terrific saint, but we sometimes overlook him, focusing on people like the Virgin Mary, like St. Peter and the rest of the apostles, or modern day saints like John Paul II or Mother Teresa. We overlook poor St. Joseph, and yet he's a real great inspiration to us and gives us great comfort, because St. Joseph never saw Jesus be the Messiah. He disappears from the stories of the Gospels just after Jesus is 12. He probably died when Jesus was a teenager. He was probably an older man than Mary when they got married. He had to trust that God's promises would be fulfilled. He had to trust that everything told to him about Jesus by the angel would come true. And he had to go to heaven to see that come true. He had to die before he could see God's promises be kept. Anytime that we're not sure about this Christianity business, that we're having a bit of a wobble in faith, which happens to us all who try and take Christianity seriously, we should be praying to Saint Joseph to help us overcome those doubts, to live with those doubts, to keep our trust in God the way he did, trusting that we will see the promises fulfilled, even if we have to die and go to heaven before we get to do that. So I've come in here to Holy Trinity again to have some time kneeling in front of the Blessed Sacrament before I sort of finish up for the day. And we've tackled standing and sitting in Mass, so I want to just explain kneeling. Now, we kneel, of course, for the most important part of the Mass, the consecration, when we believe that God sends his Holy Spirit to transform the bread and wine on the altar into his body and blood, in a transformation that goes so deep and so profound that it goes beyond the substance of the bread and wine. It changes something even beyond them. That's the holiest part of the Mass, and we kneel for that. Now, obviously, when we're in school, we haven't got enough kneelers to go around, so I let you all stand for that. But if I can find enough kneelers, then we'll introduce kneeling for the consecration. Kneeling's a gesture of humility. We humble ourselves before God. We're only human beings. He's God. And as big as we think we are, we're very, very small compared to God. We emphasize that by kneeling. We also kneel to receive something that's completely in God's power. We ask for the bread and wine to be transformed into his body and blood. We ask to receive his body and blood. It's completely within God's power to give that. He works through the hands of the priest, but it's God's power working there. It's nothing that we do. And so we kneel humbly to remind ourselves that it's God's power working there. It's a free gift from God. Now, think of it this way. If any of you are ever lucky enough to be knighted in the future, you will kneel before the king or the queen when the sword is tapped onto your shoulder and you become a knight. It's a free gift from the monarch. It's within the power of the monarch to give the knighthood, and you will kneel to receive that. Any of you boys who get married in the future, you will hopefully get on one knee in front of your girlfriend and ask her to marry you. Or, girls, you can ask boys to marry you in a leap year on February 29th. It's a tradition that you can get on one knee then and ask your boyfriend to marry you. You get on the knee because you ask the question, but it's in the power of the girlfriend to say yes or not. It's in the power of the boyfriend in a leap year to say yes or not. It's the gift that they can give that you ask for. And it's the same with the Eucharist. It's the same with anything that is a gift from God. Any of you boys who become priests, you will kneel in front of the bishop, who will then lay his hands on you, ordaining you a priest. Any of you boys or girls who join religious life and who are professed as a monk or a nun, you will kneel for that as the gift is given from God to you. We kneel at Mass to humbly receive a pure gift from God, a gift that we ask for, but is completely within God's power to give. And we acknowledge that humbly and joyfully by kneeling for that most important part of the Mass, the consecration. So, that wraps it up for the Friday videos for this term. Have a wonderful Easter holiday. Enjoy your Easter eggs when they come, and look forward to seeing you at some of the Easter Masses, but particularly Saturday the 30th at 7 p.m. As I say, we begin the Easter Vigil, the night that we mark Jesus rising from the dead. We begin outside as it's getting dark with a blessed fire, which we take lit candles from, and we watch the light gradually spread through the darkened church, the way the light of Christ, the light of Jesus, gradually spreads through this darkened world, all those little lights representing each of us faithful members of the church. It'd be wonderful to see a few of you there to take part in that beautiful celebration as we go from darkness to light. That's Saturday the 30th here at Holy Trinity at 7 p.m. Look forward to seeing some of you then. God bless and happy Easter.